The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday rejected a proposed amendment to the Electoral Act intended to make the electronic transmission of election results mandatory. Now, the lawmakers voted against the amendment to Clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Amendment Bill, which sought to strip the Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, of its discretionary powers regarding the mode of result transmission. The rejected provision would have legally forced INEC presiding officers to electronically transmit results from each polling unit straight to the result viewing portal, which is also known as IREV, in real time. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now on this very hot topic that people have been talking about today. Mr. Sobowale, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here as usual.
Absolutely. So, a lot of the response to this subject on social media, at least, has been there's been a lot of backlash, a lot of reactions of people sort of reading between the lines of this decision to not make e-transmission mandatory. So what do you make of all of this, and what should voters be taking away from this decision?
Right, the Senate has taken the decision. Luckily, it is not the social media that runs the elections or makes laws. It is the Senate. And in a way, I find the decision commendable. They are playing safe. You see, when you make laws, it's not until you have tested them in the courts that you know whether you are on the right path or you are violating the law. The last election, many people went to court almost immediately. Because when we all read the Electoral Act, including myself, we all thought the elections will be transmitted electronically, that you see them straight away. But then people went to court, and it went to the Supreme Court, and it ruled that it is not in the Electoral Act that the results should be transmitted electronically. That is at the discretion of INEC. Whether they upload it before announcing it or vice versa, it is their discretion. Now, you see, they ruled in that too. Or what the amendment sought to sort out, was to include that in the 2026 Electoral Act. Yeah. But I think the Senate and the House, they are placed safe now. That at least they know the path they are going through with the Electoral Act. Because they have tested it before and they know the interpretation before the Supreme Court. So you don't need to be chasing shadows. So they are playing safe. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right. But when you take a hard look at this, what's wrong with the current system of transmitting results, and do you think it's open to manipulation? Perhaps that would be why the Senate is playing safe before, transmitting these elections electronically. Wouldn't it have an advantage if once you have the results, have it real time? We've seen places like South Africa when they have the situation room scenarios. Results are transmitted almost in a real time scenarios. You know exactly how the electoral process is going. So yes, why aren't we
doing that? You have to be in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You have to know what's on the ground. Connectivity.
All right.
Connectivity and availability of power. You know the scenarios here. And I say you have situations where they don't even start in time because there's no light, there's no power. So they are being realistic. But institutionally, my siding with them is that this is a tested thing before the law. Logically, it may seem impaired. But you see, legally, you know what the law says. So people cannot just run to the courts and be claiming what it is already decided. You get me? Let's leave it at that.
All right.
But then with this decision taken by the Senate, is there any fear that this may lead to more voter apathy in 2027, with people saying that, okay, if my results don't show up in real time the way that a lot of elections do in 2025 or 2026 that we're in now, will people just decide to sit the election out?
No, you see, it is difficult to identify voter apathy. And the latest example was the election in Anambra in November, where it turned out about a quarter of people on the register turned out to vote. But then they discovered that dead people were on the list. So the voter register is what is crucial. The voter register must be, how do I put it, transparently honest and clear. Be filled with living people who are in that vicinity, who have eligibility to vote. That is what Trump is dying over in the US now, which is same Voters Eligibility Act. Get me? Because over the election is done by the states. Yeah. Some people feel you just come in, as long as you're available, go and vote. But I say no, because you're a citizen, you must have an identity card. We have passed that stage, get me? But yes, see what happened in Anambra now. With the elaborate state by state registration, you still find people who are there. People, maybe they died after registration, but they cannot rise from the grave to come and register themselves. So that voter vetting, voter registration, voter registers vetting must be thorough and clean, so that you have a clean launching pad for the election. This is the transmission. Once people have voted as they should, after being verified at the voting station, it is immaterial when and how the thing is uploaded or announced, because the parties have their representative and they all have the collated sheets with them, so they can always contest that. But one thing this Senate has avoided now is the issue of taking INEC to court, because it has not done electronic. It has not done transmission electronically. That is sorted out now. So we have grown. We have grown democratically in that regard. Yes.
To a large extent, sometimes, well, as technology is proactive in its deployment, but then again, it has its shortcomings as well. And we've seen hacking attempts at manipulating. When it comes to elections, even in Western countries as well.
Right.
So do you think to a large extent that also played a large part in their decision not to allow this to go?
Disinformation
exactly,
is very rife. Like you rightly said, it's not only here. It has influenced elections. Disinformation, misinformation. Technology plays a large part in democratic institutions and democratic elections.
Indeed.
Nowadays. You better believe that. Even in the EU, they are trying to make acts, to censor, to control. But you see, somebody said, even though you are practicing democracy now, that the basis of democracy is capitalism. That the era of capitalism itself, it has gone. But what we have now is, how do I put it? Techno-feudalism or techno-imperialism, whereby the big technical companies manipulate how you behave, what you search for, and the information you get, and patch up things with AI to create fantasies that people mistake at times for reality. So that one is always there. Electronic manipulation, not transmission now of the ideas, the campaigns, the issues at stake. So we all have to guard ourselves ready for that.
Okay.
And you see, the social media itself, eventually people are coming to realize that not everything on social media is the truth.
Indeed.
Although some people will swear at you and say, I've just seen it, I've just seen it, until they say that. That's why BBC started BBC Verified a long time ago. But it can cause wars and disrupt campaigns and destroy democracies. So we must be alert on that too.
Indeed.
Right.
And very quickly, do you think that Nigeria will move towards more technology in elections, or is this evidence that we're just not ready for that yet? The infrastructure isn't there yet.
We are moving at our own pace, and we are allowing from our own practice. That's the essence. You see, democracy is built on the rule of law. You get me? When we know how to respect the decisions of the judges, then we are moving closer to accepting our election results and not thinking the judges are manipulating issues. Yes, we are making progress.
Indeed, homegrown solutions, as it were.
Yeah.
Mr. Dayo Sobowale, many thanks for your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you as always.